While it may seem normal that you go through physical changes in the warmer months, did you know you might feel sadder as well? These are the changes your body can undergo during the summer. We all like to smell good, but you could end up smelling worse come summer, and not just because you're a little sweatier. Hotter weather can leave people with a case of halitosis, the medical term for bad breath. Halitosis can be caused by many things, from poor dental hygiene and tobacco products to health conditions like chronic bronchitis or periodontitis. However, according to bad breath and halitosis expert Dr. Harold Katz, the health condition can also occur through the changes in weather and behavior that occur in the summer months. As he told Metro, part of this issue arises from the fact that the body loses water in the heat through sweat. He explained that, coupled with an increase in the use of hay fever medications, fad summer dieting, an increase in outdoor exercising, and overexposure to the sun can also all exacerbate the problem of bad breath. So if you're noticing that your breath is a little funkier, take note of how you might have reacted to the heat.
And does my breath smell, honestly?
I don't.
Have you ever noticed that your rings feel tighter when it's hot outside? Well, we're here to tell you that you're not imagining things. This effect is actually due to how blood vessels react to changes in temperature. Blood vessels expand when environments get warmer to help heat leave our bodies through our skin and keep us cool. When this happens, some of the fluids contained in our blood vessels can enter the soft tissue in our hands, which result in swollen extremities. If this happens, there's usually no need for concern, as this swelling will typically lessen and disappear as we carry on as normal. However, if this summer swelling becomes painful, you notice a weakened grip, or the swelling is isolated to your hands and not your other extremities, it may be something more serious. In this case, you should consult with a healthcare professional.
I haven't seen a reaction this severe since med school.
It may not be the most visible change, but lowered blood pressure is nevertheless an interesting reaction our bodies have to summer weather. This occurs for a few reasons. When it's colder outside, our blood vessels get narrower and harder for blood to get through, which means that more pressure is required to transport the blood around our bodies. Conversely, our blood vessels expand in the summer, requiring less pressure. Additionally, people generally move around less and gain more weight during the winter, both of which are risk factors for higher blood pressure. The opposite can be true in the summer, with more physical activity and weight loss leading to more balanced blood pressure. All of this is important to know if you're taking medication for hypertension, as your doctor may want to lower your dosage come summertime. Sunnier days and brighter skies are usually associated with people feeling happier. For this reason, it might come as a bit of a surprise that you could feel more depressed in the summer. This is due to the profound impact that changes in weather can sometimes have on our moods. One of the ways that summer can cause this is through seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, a form of depression directly related to seasonal change. According to an article published in Psychiatry, SAD profoundly affects roughly 6% of the US population, with a further 14% feeling generally less positive in winter. But while SAD is typically seen during colder months, WebMD shows that around 10% of people with SAD experience it during the summer season. Other potential reasons people could feel less positive during the summer include a change in schedule, increased financial stress, or body image concerns. Seek help and advice from a healthcare professional if you are concerned about a change in mood during the summer, or any other season for that matter. While some of the changes that occur to your body in the summer can be subtle, others can be much more noticeable and pretty irritating. Unfortunately, one of these less than ideal changes could be happening in your sneakers, as your body becomes more susceptible to fungal infections during hotter weather.
Viruses can make us ill, but fungi can alter our very minds.
In particular, one of the most prevalent fungal infections, athlete's foot, can become a more common occurrence in the summer. This is due to the infection thriving in warm and moist environments like sweaty running shoes. When this happens, the fungus can multiply quickly, causing an unpleasant, painful infection that can be tricky to deal with. When it's hot outside, it's important to take precautions. Try as much as possible to wear looser shoes with more ventilation. If you're wearing socks, make sure that both the sock and your foot are dry beforehand. It can also help to take off your shoes and socks immediately after exercising in the heat. Let those trotters breathe. Between the festive season, changes in hormonal balances, and a generally lower level of activity due to the cold weather, weight gain during the winter months is certainly not unheard of. However, you might be surprised to learn that the opposite may not be true during the summer. One reason could surely be due to all of those summertime staples like ice cream, hamburgers, and hot dogs. Another big reason, though, is due to the body's metabolic response, which measures how quickly our bodies process energy and can have a large effect on weight loss, gain, or maintenance. According to a study in Physiology and Behavior, which looked at seasonal differences in metabolic reactions, it was found that people's metabolic responses are generally slower in the summer and faster in the winter. The reason for this is the body responds to the colder temperatures by using more energy. As the study's authors state, the observed higher metabolic response in winter compared to summer indicates cold adaptation. They go on to mention this could, quote, have implications for energy balance and body composition. The more you know. We're pretty sure that everybody at some point has had one of those dreaded nights when it's just too hot to fall asleep. Feeling restless in bed because it's sweltering outside certainly isn't uncommon. What's interesting, though, is exactly why you find it so tricky to nod off in the heat of the summer. According to David Brodner, a leading sleep specialist, when our bodies get ready for sleep, they decrease in temperature. But when the air is too hot in the room you're sleeping in, it becomes harder for the body to cool down, making it that much more difficult for you to drift off. In this case, one of the best things you can do is reduce the temperature of your room. As Brodner told Insider, there's some discussion of what the ideal sleep temperature is. It's between 60 and 67 Fahrenheit, so keep it around 65. Excuse us while we crank up the AC.
How can they sleep like this?
When it's hot out, it's much harder to feel sharp. Although most of the time we chalk that up to just wanting to kick back with a margarita to enjoy the fine weather, it turns out that our ability to learn, think, stay focused, and problem solve does suffer somewhat in the summer. This is particularly noticeable during periods of more extreme heat. In one study published in PLOS Medicine, the authors looked at the cognition of university students during a heat wave using tests that measured attention, processing speed, and working memory. It was found that the higher the temperature, the less acute their cognitive function was, and the slower their reaction times were. If you're feeling a little less focused or not quite as clever the next time there's a spell of high heat, you can blame it on the sun. On the bright side, that's even more of an excuse to relax with a cocktail. Summer and sweat go hand in hand. For most people, feeling a little stickier during hotter temperatures is just a fact of life.
What's going on? What's happening?
You're sweating.
But where you typically sweat more in summer, it is possible on occasion to stop sweating in the heat. If you do, it's important to take note because it could be due to heat stroke. Heat stroke is a condition that occurs when your body overheats and can be more common during the summer months of the year. In more mild cases, heat stroke can cause flushed skin, headaches, and nausea. However, it can worsen quickly and cause serious damage to your organs and warrants emergency medical attention. Heat stroke can also cause anhydrosis, a condition in which your body is unable to sweat despite high temperatures. As one of sweat's main purposes is to release heat from our bodies and cool them down, anhydrosis caused by heat stroke can disrupt the body's ability to regulate temperature. So if you're concerned about a lack of sweat, don't ignore this warning sign. Although summer is the season of barbecues, there's a reason why a lot of us find ourselves gravitating toward the salad table, and it's not just because they're a cooler option. Our appetites can be affected pretty heavily by warmer temperatures, and you may end up feeling less peckish. According to Deborah Sheets, the Director of Nutrition and Dietetics at St. Catherine University in Minnesota, this largely comes down to how our bodies maintain temperature. As she told CBS, when it's hot out, our body temperature is close to the environmental temperature, so we don't have to burn as many calories to maintain our temperature. As a result, our appetite then goes down. Additionally, Greta Farley, a registered dietitian with Hy-Vee, told the publication that we digest food more slowly in higher temperatures, which in turn leads us to have a reduced appetite. So next time you're struggling to throw back a chili dog in the blazing sun, know it could be for these reasons. One of the more apparent ways that your body changes in the summer is related to your cardiovascular system, especially your heart. And if you're noticing that your heart's beating faster when it's warm, it could be due to your body adapting to new temperatures. The cardiovascular system is integral to keeping our bodies at a good temperature when it's warm outside. The hotter it gets, the more your heart has to work. The body releases heat by widening blood vessels in hot weather. As a result, the body needs to work harder to circulate blood. The change in heart rate can be pretty significant. For each degree degree your body rises, your heart gets about 10 beats faster per minute. Your heart can face further strain in hotter weather due to the body's requirement to replace lost minerals through sweat. If your heartbeat becomes concerning, contact a healthcare professional. If you've ever found that you're feeling a little more frisky in the hotter months, it turns out that's a fairly common occurrence. Your sex drive can significantly increase during the summer, and according to clinical psychologist Carla Marie Manley, there are a few reasons for this. As Manley told The Healthy, an increase in libido during the summer is governed by hormones, which are in turn affected by various factors. She explained, stress is often reduced due to vacation time. As such, when stress is decreased, the body's production of stress-related neurochemicals such as cortisol and adrenaline are decreased. The body's feel-good neurochemicals such as serotonin are increased due to more time in the sun, increased activity, etc. Also, a spike in vitamin D during the summer can cause hormonal changes that may also contribute to a higher sex drive. Overexposure to sunlight and skin damage go hand in hand, so it's probably little surprise that the summer may not be the best season for skin health. It doesn't just stop at sunburn, though. According to The Healthy, our skin can take a hit during the hot months due to the weather conditions, and this can lead to summer acne. The heat and humidity of summer, which naturally results in more sweat, can result in an increase in dead skin cells and sebum becoming lodged in our pores, leading to more pimples. While this is certainly uncomfortable, there are measures you can take to reduce the prevalence of summer acne. According to Dr. Christina L. Chung, the former director of the Drexel Dermatology Center for Transplant Patients, the sunscreen you choose can make a big difference. As she told Healthy, I'd recommend always using mineral-based sunscreens such as zinc oxide and titanium oxide for the best protection against the sun. Luckily, there are many new mineral formulas that are super light and also oil-free, so they will still provide broad-spectrum protection without causing acne.